By the way, think about this. You're the creator of the universe, right? You have all this power. You can create multiverses just by the power of thought. They just spring into existence. And then you create this one universe that has a planet in it that's called Earth that has these humans that you created as well. And you're supposed to know the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end and everything before it happens and all this other good stuff. But for some weird reason, there's two things you can't figure out. You don't know how to uh, keep money coming in. To keep you can't keep the church abundant enough to where it always, it doesn't need to have money all the time. And the second thing you can't figure out is how to make these human beings behave. You just can't seem to figure it out. And so what do you got to do? You come up with a brilliant. Now you're the master of the universe. You're the master of the multiverse. And what do? You come up with the most brilliant idea. You know what? I think I'll make a half son from a human and then slay him and tell the people that he died for all their sins. And that'll fix the problem right on up. How's that working out for you right now, guys? How's all this sacrificial lamb working out for you guys right now? You see, it's just, come on, it's a farce. All right, so witnesses believe that they are living in the last days. This is their biggest preach. This is how they preach to you. It's always the end of days. Like the lady told me on the beach, this is the end of days, and you got to take Jesus into your life now because the world is getting ready to end. I'm like, really? It's getting ready to end? They look forward to the imminent establishment of God's kingdom on earth. It's imminent. I said to the lady, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, so this is the end of days right now? This is before the whole sickness went around the planet too, by the way. But she was like, yeah, this is the end. We're at the end. Signs are all around us. You can't see the signs? I said, signs of what? I said, how many people are dying a day on the planet? Do you know how many people are dying a day? She didn't have a clue, didn't have an idea. I said, how many people died last year on planet Earth? She didn't have an answer to that. I said, how many people died? I said, I give you a hint. How many people died during the bubonic plague? That's about the same amount of people that died last year on Earth. She didn't even have a clue of what the bubonic plague even was. Okay. I said, wow, you don't know what that was? I said, what about the Black Plague? Do you remember that? You just learned that in school? No, didn't learn that either. Okay. I said, what about the Papal Inquisitions? Over the course of 700 years, they slaughtered 80 million people for the sake of Christianity around the world. Did you know about that? Didn't know about that either. I said, what about the American Holocaust, where Europeans came to the Americas and stole all this land and slaughtered 111 million indigenous people on this land? 111 million, more than the Papal Inquisitions. Did you know about that? They just didn't know about that. I said, so if anything, the end of days would have been back in those times. Right now, it's not even close to being the worst it's ever been on this planet. Again, she's just flabbergasted, doesn't know what to say. So she begins to continue to want to pitch. I'm just there listening because I'm breaking her down. Now she's starting to stutter as she's talking to me. And, she says that, again, it's imminent. The end of days is imminent. And the establishment of God's kingdom is going to be on earth, which will be headed by Christ and jointly administered by 144,000 human co-rulers. Okay? Co-rulers is what they call them. I said, so what does that mean exactly? 144,000. She says only 144,000 are going to be part of the new heaven. I said, wait a minute. I said, what's going to happen to everybody else? God is going to kill them. He's going to throw asteroids and comets on them. He's going to drown people. I'm like, this is pretty scary stuff. I said, I thought God was a loving being, a loving entity. Yeah, he is, but if you disobey his word, then you're gonna be beat up and you're gonna get killed and slaughtered. They don't believe in hell. They don't believe that you're gonna go to hell. By the way, they don't have that hell belief in the Jehovah Witness book Bible. And so I said, man, lady, this is pretty interesting to me. I said 144,000. I said, let me ask you a question. Now remember, every time I say that, I already know the answer. I never ask a question I don't know the answer to. I said, let me ask you a question. So how many people are on Earth right now? Do you know what's the total global population? She again was stumped. She said, oh, about maybe 300 or 400 million people. I said, what? No, Not even close. 390 million people are Americans in America. That's 390 million people in America. That includes women, children, and men. I said, this is a big planet. There's right now on this planet, at that time, it was 7.5 billion people. Now we're already up to 8 point something billion. But at that time, it was 7.5. So I said, 7.5 billion people on Earth right now. Did you know that? She was like, billion? I said, yeah, there's 7.5 billion. And you're telling me that out of all that big number, only 144,000, excuse me, guys, only 144,000 are going to make it to this paradise. I said, so is it logical that you would go out and try to recruit more people when only such a small, limited number of people based on the global population are actually going to make it into this heaven? Why are you out here getting people? This is something you should be keeping it a secret to yourself, because your chances of getting in are going to be slimmer by you recruiting me and other people. Her head just spun around. She didn't even understand what the heck I was trying to say. I said, ma'am, do you understand that the more people you bring in, the lower your chances, the odds of your chances of making it into paradise, to being at 144,000? She just couldn't grasp it. She couldn't grasp it. By the way, the 144,000 that made it into the Bible, which is it's actually in biblical text, that comes from ancient text, which comes out of the land of Chem. The 144,000 capstones that were laid onto the Great Pyramid at Giza. That's the reference point there for that phrase. Again, they got taken and twisted into this whole other craziness that doesn't even exist. Anyway, those who acknowledge Jehovah in this life will become members of the millennial kingdom. That means 1,000 year. So what they're saying is you're going to be part of this 1,000 year kingdom. Okay, 1,000 year. They don't give themselves much credit. I mean, you got the all-powerful, all-knowing God that creates everything, and you're only going to give you guys 1,000 years of peace? That doesn't make any sense to me. Those who reject him will not go to hell, but will face total extinction. New members are baptized by immersion and are expected to live by a strict code of personal conduct. Marriage is considered a holy covenant. A divorce is disapproved of, except in cases of adultery. Witnesses participate in the annual commemoration of Jesus Christ's death, celebrated on 14 Nisan of the Jewish calendar, which is March or April on the Gregorian calendar. And witnesses pass around bread and wine, symbols of the holy blood, the body and blood of Christ. So they're doing a satanic ritual there. They're actually doing voodoo. They're eating the flesh of a man and drinking his blood. And they won't want to tell you that and admit that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing. You're actually participating in satanic rituals. You're eating flesh and drinking blood of a man. And I do mean a man. Only those who are thought to be among the 144,000 co-rulers can eat and drink the bread and wine. But guess what, guys? They all do it. All the hundreds of millions of them that are involved in this religion, they do it, even though it's only supposed to be the ones that are already handpicked to go into the paradise.
By Compendium of the Emerald Tablets by Billy Carson.